And one thing I've learned the hard way along this route is that you have to identify what is the most important thing for you right now and focus on that rather than trying to do everything at one time. So here's the first question that I ask all of my clients. What's your top career focus right now in this chapter of your life? Not what someone else thinks you should do, not what society tells you you should do, not what any outside noise. You. What is your top career focus right now? And then also alongside that question is what actually matters in your career right now? And this really does show up differently for everyone. That's why there's no one way to coach everybody. You have to be focused on the individual. Your main focus may be auditioning, but on top of that, it really may also be making money. And so that really begs the question next of what's my top priority and what's my second priority? I want you to think about perhaps 3 priorities, list these out, number 1, number 2, and number 3, and list them in order of importance. Some of us aren't just performers. We're not just actors or actresses or just dancers, whatever noun you would like to use as someone that performs on stage. Perhaps you also dabble in coaching or a side hustle or something else that you would like to develop that's going to make money. So we can do a lot of things. We just can't do them all at one time. So, for example, if your top goal right now is to book on stage work, that is number 1. I want you to really sit down and ask yourself, am I really doing everything I can with my casting profiles? We're talking about, and you can go down in the description box below and I have videos about all of those if you do not know what I'm talking about, so you can learn about them. But we're talking about Actors Access, Backstage, maybe casting networks if that lands for you in the jobs you're looking for. There are other ones depending on what city you're in. Maybe you're in the West Coast or the East Coast or the Midwest. There are other ones, but those are the main ones. Supplemental to that would be online sites that have auditions, but aren't casting profiles where you can submit directly through them. And the reason why is because so many people think that it's still just about going in person. It may be for some little, I call bubble cities, but in general, it's online. The first tape requests are online, and we're talking from top to bottom. If you have an agent, this is a little bit easier, but focus your energy on your casting profiles. In addition to that, if you are a union member, you're gonna focus on the online portal for Actors Equity Association that you can only have access to if you're a member of the union. Now, you're going to take a look at that as well, of course, because that's where you're going to focus your energy on finding auditions, also getting appointments for those auditions. Again, this is all online. Getting appointments for those auditions, maybe getting an appointment for an audition that is going to take an open call self-tape. Those happen quite often, not all the time, but those do happen depending on maybe the tour or the show. And then you're going to focus in really, truly on the casting profile that's best for you, which for us, in musical theater is Actors Access, whether you're union or non-union, whether you have an agent or don't have an agent. And when I say focus on that first and prioritize that, I mean submitting, self-submitting, having everything updated for your agent for their side, which is Breakdown Express. If you're trying to get an agent, you need to do this anyway. Prioritizing, updating your materials, finding out what's not landing. What do you need to update? What do you not know? What do you need to work with someone to get better tapes, to get better reels, to find out why your headshots maybe aren't landing because they don't really showcase how you want to be seen. The next priority of this that really does go with the online, it's going to go with the next part if you're focusing on booking work, is your materials. So we need headshot, resume, reels and clips, all in digital format, right? Like ready to go, that you can disperse anywhere in a submission. Maybe it's going to be something you see on Playbill and you're submitting through maybe a Google Doc. Maybe your agent is direct submitting you and they're saying, hey, we need a reel of you doing da-da-da-da-da, or clips of that. You need all of that stuff digitized, ready to go, so that you don't have to worry or scramble when an opportunity comes up, because they come up very often, sometimes very last minute. The next online piece of your work that I want you to focus on, if your number one goal is to book work, is your website. It's a place for us to claim our real estate online. and a place for us when someone Googles us for something to come up. Do casting directors really look at your website? I mean, we will never know. Having a website really does give you the opportunity to say, what do I want to tell the world? Instagram, you're not really doing that. It's one slice of the pie. Ticky-tacky, one slice of the pie. But your website, that is your online storefront. It really, truly is. Prioritizing it in this order will benefit you in the long run of your career. And you know that's what I'm always talking about with you. I'm always talking about the long-term career growth that is going to develop over time. Now, let's say that your focus is to build some type of side hustle. You're wanting to build like a coaching business or a consulting business or something else that's going to function online. Maybe you're going to sell some type of product or some type of digital good. I want you to focus then on number one is a website. And again, this is a little bit different for everybody depending what your side hustle is. But in general, go back to your website. That's your main home and hub for everything, because you're in control of that algorithm. You're in control of that SEO. You're in control of what pops up when someone Googles your name. That is more important than social media. Now, social media is an addition and to support. And so after a website, I would suggest focusing in on your email list. You can't control an algorithm. Maybe TikTok closes down. Maybe Instagram's algorithm for some reason doesn't push your content and you're wasting time on it. Okay, we're gonna get to social media. But I would say focus on a website and an email list. That way you own that audience. You build a relationship through an email list. And then next up for that, if you're building a side hustle, is to prioritize one social media platform that is going to help support that side hustle. So that again depends on the side hustle that you're trying to create, but that might look like YouTube, which is what you're watching right now. This is kind of part of the way that I get to connect with people. I get to create content, monetize it, make money off of this, but also reach people like you where I can help with free content, but also it's a free advertisement. If you like me and the work that I do, then you can come work with me one-on-one. And a lot of people find me through YouTube. I'm also really good at long form content. I know my strengths, and my strength is YouTube. And I know that because the first business I built was my side hustle. I was a professor and I was coaching online and I was teaching online at many colleges and universities. I actually started another channel. I don't post on it anymore. I still make money off of it though. But I built a channel. It grew really quickly. There's I think I have over 30K subscribers over there right now, depending on when you're watching this video. It's always growing, but I don't touch that anymore because I'm not building that business anymore. So again, I'm focusing on what matters the most for me right now in this chapter. But my point is it going to be beneficial for your side hustle? Is it going to support it with some type of audience connection, an authority connection, or creating content that reaches people in a way that works best for you? Your next option too, of course, would be something like Instagram. Or I have a couple clients actually that I'm encouraging them to start. We're working on their LinkedIn because their side hustle is going to be like adjunct faculty as a theater professor, or their side hustle is going to be some type of admin assistant so they can travel and work remotely. Really is dependent upon you and what's going to support you best. Because I want you to think about content as marketing, and you can find a way to do it that feels authentic to you. If you're building a side hustle, that would be my way to kind of prioritize the online side without losing your mind. Now, let's say that your goal is to perhaps launch some type of show, maybe promote some type of release of new work, maybe an album, or maybe you're trying to promote your work as a singer-songwriter. I have a couple of clients doing this literally right now, like 4 at this very moment. And so what I want you to prioritize, again, this really depends upon you, so it'd have to be more of a one-on-one conversation, but in general, I really want you to prioritize something like a website where you can claim your space online and you can send people to your work, to your hub, okay? Then the next up, the thing I want you to prioritize is on that website is some type of landing page where you have your EPK, electronic press kit, and then a PDF version of that you can use to email to people when you're trying to get them to book you. Another thing that I really want you to think about in your website too is to build your own email list. Okay, it's super important. Social media is great. I'm gonna talk about that next. But really, you wanna own your audience. And an email newsletter, having that list can really nurture a more personal connection to people. Again, depending on your audience, but it's a better way to tell them exactly what's happening and to give them a connection instantly that hits their email inbox rather than them, you're posting a content on social media and maybe they don't open Instagram for like a month or two. Or maybe your audience isn't even on Instagram. So it's one way to own the algorithm. And then next up too is something I want you to think about, which is, again, what social media platform is the best for you and the work you're doing. Like, for example, I have one client where our focus is Instagram because that is what they're really comfortable utilizing as a singer-songwriter. They know it, they feel comfortable posting it, they know how it functions. Sometimes that is more important than saying, this is the place you should be, but you don't know it and you're not ready to go there yet. And then I have another client that we're focusing on TikTok because we're trying to utilize a new way of marketing her show that's about to happen in New York City. So I really want you to think about then what is better for you. Another great example is I have a client that we're using YouTube to be an outlet for the music that she's creating and to maybe monetize YouTube and to attract people in the world that she's trying to get to work with. I'll throw in this as well because I actually have a couple of new clients that were talking about this. So let's say you're a performer and you are diving into, you want to be some type of teacher, educator. You either want your own studio, you to teach online, which is kind of what I do, or you want to start teaching at a university or a some type of collegiate and higher ed above high school. My best advice for you would be, if you are on the side of starting your own coaching business online, like a studio, or you're teaching lessons, whatever that may be. Maybe you're teaching voice, or maybe you're teaching dance, or maybe you're teaching, fitness, because that's your jam as a performer as well. Then my suggestion would be, for that side hustle, is to utilize your website as appointments, as coachings, as bookings, as advertising what you do, building your email list as well from your website. Again, notice I keep going back to website as a hub of expanding your income, expanding your job nouns as you need them. Super important, and that's been something that's been really helpful for me in my career long term. Encourage you to use Squarespace. It's what I use for all of my clients, all the websites that I help them build, whether I do it or we do it together, or I start it and they do it on their own. I think it's the best platform. And then on the other side of this, if you are trying to think about, maybe you have a master's degree or a bachelor's degree and you're thinking about teaching, and that's going to be something that you're focused on, maybe in addition to performing, because I have actually a large pool of clients that are performers that are also educators, then my suggestion to you would be, one, a website. We need that as well to submit for jobs, and then to focus in again on where those jobs are located. And for academics, that is highered.com. There are a couple others as well, but then you want to also tack on LinkedIn to that. Keep your energy focused on one main goal at one time, and then trickle that down to the other ones that aren't as important at this chapter of your career. Get focused, get grounded, and take one step at a time.